people of the kingdom felt a sudden shift. Songs returned to the streets, laughter filled the air, and bells rang louder than before. The sorcerer's spell was breaking. Princess Liana's words filled the land with light, and Princess Amara's silence kept the darkness from returning. Together they were unstoppable. But Malvern was not yet defeated. "You cannot win," he snarled. "I will tear you apart." His shadow surged higher, swallowing the sky. The sisters held hands, their powers blending. The kingdom itself seemed to awaken, ready to fight alongside its princesses. The sorcerer summoned a wall of black fire, flames licking the sky with terrible heat. The people screamed, but the sisters stood firm. Princess Liana tried to shout the fire away, but her words only made sparks dance. She began to panic. Amara stepped closer, raising her hands in silence. She didn't try to fight the fire, she simply stood still, letting the silence cool the raging flames. The black fire began to weaken. "Together," Amara whispered softly for the first time. Liana spoke words of courage and the fire vanished into the night. Deep within the storm, a giant mirror appeared, conjured by Malvorn's dark magic. It reflected the sisters, but twisted. Amara's reflection was cold and lifeless, while Liana's was loud and cruel. "This is who you truly are," Malvorn taunted. "Without each other, you are nothing." For a moment, the sisters doubted, but then they turned towards one another, not the mirror. "You are my balance," Liana said. "And you are my voice," Amara whispered. The mirror cracked, then shattered into thousands of glowing shards, scattering light across the sky. With the mirror broken, the sisters' bond grew stronger than ever. Their combined power surged like a river of light. Malvorn screamed as their voices and silence struck together. Liana's golden words wrapped in Amara's calm blue aura. The darkness shattered, and the sorcerer's form dissolved into smoke. The storm vanished. Stars returned to the sky, brighter than before. The people cheered, their kingdom safe once more. The sisters embraced, knowing their gifts were not meant to compete, but to complete one another. The kingdom declared a great celebration. Lanterns rose into the sky, brighter than ever before. Music filled the streets, and silence filled the hearts with peace. Princess Liana told the tale of their victory, her words weaving joy and hope into every corner of the land. Princess Amara stood by her side, her silent smile reassuring everyone that peace would remain. The people cheered for both, the Princess of Words and the Princess of Silence. They finally understood that one without the other was incomplete. From that day onward, the sisters ruled together with harmony, their love unshakable. After the celebration, the kingdom flourished like never before. The fields grew greener, rivers sparkled clear, and people found balance in their lives. The silent princess taught the value of listening and reflection, while the talkative princess encouraged expression and storytelling. Together, they built schools where children learned both the strength of words and the wisdom of silence. Travelers from distant lands visited, amazed at a kingdom where laughter and stillness lived side by side. They called it the Land of Balance. Grateful for their princesses, the people offered gifts. Farmers brought baskets of golden wheat, musicians composed songs, and poets wrote verses about their courage. But the greatest gift was unity. Villagers promised never to let envy divide them again. They would honor both speech and silence, knowing both were sacred. The princesses smiled, for they understood their true victory was not over Malvorn, but over fear and division. One day, the sisters discovered a hidden garden behind the palace walls. Flowers glowed like jewels, and a fountain sang with a voice of its own. "This is where our parents once prayed for harmony," Amara whispered softly. "And now it is ours to protect," Liana said, smiling. The garden became their sanctuary. Liana spoke her dreams aloud, while Amara listened, weaving unspoken strength into every word. Though Malvorn was gone, whispers of shadow sometimes lingered at the edges of the kingdom. Dark clouds gathered, testing the peace. The sisters realized that darkness never disappears, it waits for hearts to weaken. But together, they stood firm, reminding the people that unity was their shield. "Silence without words is emptiness," Liana said. "Words without silence are noise," Amara added. And together, they said in unison, "We are harmony." The princesses formed a council of elders, storytellers, and listeners. Together, they made laws that valued both voice and silence. When disputes arose, one side would speak and the other would listen in silence before responding. This simple rule ended many quarrels and kept the kingdom peaceful. The world looked to them as an example of wisdom. One evening, the sisters gazed at the night sky. two bright stars shone side by side, brighter than all other. "Do you see them?" Liana asked. "Yes," Amara replied. "They are us." Voice and silence shining together. From then on, the people called those stars the silent star and the speaking star, believing the princess's bond was written in the heavens. The children of the kingdom grew curious. "Which is stronger, words or silence?" they asked. The sisters smiled. Liana spoke a story of bravery, while Amara sat quietly until the children's excitement faded into peaceful thought. The children realized both were powerful in their own time. "Silence makes words stronger, and words give silence meaning," they said. The sisters nodded, proud that the next generation understood. A mysterious river ran through the kingdom, carrying voices of the past. When the sisters visited, they heard echoes of their parents reminding them, "Stay united, and no darkness will break you." The river glowed with both sound and silence, reflecting their harmony. The kingdom created a new holiday, the Festival of Balance. Half the day was filled with speeches, songs, and stories. The other half was spent in peaceful silence under the stars. It became the most loved festival, teaching everyone the beauty of both gifts. The sisters decided to travel beyond their borders. In distant lands, they taught the wisdom of balance. Some kingdoms valued only speech, others only silence, but both were incomplete. Wherever they went, harmony followed. They became known across the world as the Princesses of Balance. Princess Liana began to write their adventures, filling pages with stories. Princess Amara added no words, but her calm presence filled the book with wisdom. The Book of Harmony became a treasure, teaching future generations the power of silence and speech together. One evening, musicians played a melody that alternated between sound and silence. It was unlike anything heard before, soothing yet exciting, peaceful yet joyful. The princesses named it the Kingdom Song. It became the anthem of their land, reminding all who listened of their harmony. One stormy night, a faint shadow appeared on the horizon, the last whisper of Malvorn. But it could not enter the kingdom. The bond of the sisters created a shield no darkness could cross. The shadow dissolved into nothing, ending forever. The people cheered, knowing peace was theirs to keep. As years passed, the sisters grew older, but their bond only deepened. Their people continued to thrive, carrying their lessons forward. Legends spread of the Silent Princess and the Talkative Princess, two sisters who saved their land not by swords, but by love, balance, and unity. Generations later, children still told the story of the two princesses. When someone spoke too much, they remembered Liana. When someone needed calm, they remembered Amara. And when they sought true wisdom, they remembered both together. The kingdom thrived, forever known as the Land of Balance, where silence and speech lived in perfect harmony. And so, the tale of the Silent Princess and the Talkative Princess was passed on, shining brighter with each telling. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more video.